Hey everyone, my name is Legendroni and this game is Rise of Civilization. Today I'm going to continue my series of Spotlight video and I'm going to break down, talk about Joan of Arc. I'm not going to break her down. Yeah, so let's get started. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check on my channel. There is a playlist which is called Commander Spotlight. If you check that playlist, I have done quite a tremendous amount of commanders. If your commander is not going to be in there, you can subscribe for more and your commander will be in there because I will do all of them. So let's talk about her skills. Let's start talking about her. About this particular commander, Joan of Arc, for the king. First of all, you should know about her. She's an epic commander, and what is that going to mean? It means that you are going to be able to obtain her sculptures very easy from the game. So as a free-to-play player or someone that doesn't spend, you will be able to max out this commander from what you get from the game. Because you can, if you click on her sculptures, you can get her from the tavern, which is the chest expedition, and universal sculpture. She can even drop in the silver chest, but the chance is like this, and I'm not sure if you see it, it's like this small that she will drop in the silver chest. But yes, this is as a free to play commander, you will be able to max her out. One of the most important skills from her is the first one, is the second one, the fourth one, and then the third one. She has very beautiful skills, very wonderful. There is nothing wrong I can tell about her skills. They are very awesome. Now that I maxed her out, I can tell you that she is insane. I could not imagine that she would be that great. I classified her as the third best commander as a free-to-play commander. So as a free-to-play commander should be the third on the line, but I might put her on the second. And if you're wondering which are the other two, it's Scipio and Boudica, the other two. So these are like the three best commanders that I would like to classify them as free-to-play best commanders that you can get. Right, you can read what her skills do, you can read that yourself. The reason I'm classifying her second skill, because you might be wondering, that's like gathering speed and load, what would that be so cool? That is because she is always a secondary commander, and this is how I would advise you to use her, as a secondary commander. So if you're not going to battle, you just send her for gathering and increase the gathering speed bonus of all type of resources. So it's not like other commanders, gathering commanders have just wood or food or just stone bonus. She has bonus on all the resources, so it doesn't matter which resource you want to send her to. Then she has heal, and not to mention 25% damage taken. When I maxed this out and I started using her and I unlocked her expertise, I have to say that Joan of Arc was on another level of commander. Another level of commander. If you haven't seen my counter cavalry battles, you can go ahead and check them. I used Joan of Arc in those setups, and on my archery setup I used Joan of Arc because if you read here, it says that increase archer 30%, increase archer attack, by 30%. So that is correct, 30% attack on archers, which is very significant for 4 seconds. So this is what I have to say about her skill. Max her out, you will not regret it. I always put her as a secondary commander. You can see that once I got her to level 30, I haven't used her in experience at all, and I'm not going to. Now that we finished with her skills, as I mentioned, if you want to see her in battles, you can check my counter cavalry guide or counter cavalry video. You will see her. I used her there with various couple of commanders, and you will see how powerful and how good she is. It might surprise you, I'm telling you. Now, who would she be paired with? what I was using her on my videos, where I was using her on my videos was with the Boudica on my full archer setup, and that's the reason, because I was even highlighting that increased the archer's unit's attack by 30%. That was the main reason. Not to mention that my archers, they were taking 25% reduced damage, and Boudica already has a healing factor, and Joan of Arc has a healing factor as well, so I was getting some of my archers back. If you want to check the video, you will see how tanky my archers were and how much sustainability these two commanders they were able to bring to my archers, even that none of them is archer commander. So it's surprising, but if you read the skills, and what can I say, it worked for me, and I was really happy about this setup. Who else could Joan of Arc work with? Charles Martel, Minamoto. It might surprise you why I say Minamoto. If Minamoto is the main cavalry commander, and if you only use cavalry commanders, first, Joan of Arc will increase the defense of your cavalry. Second, your cavalry will take less damage, obviously, and then she's gonna bring some cavalry back. How is that going to help you on a nuke setup? You might be wondering. Well, this is how that is going to help you. First, you're going to keep your troops count as high as possible, and your Minamoto is going to do as much damage as possible. And how is that going to help you? If you didn't know, all these damage factors that I say here, they are being modified by the amount of troops that you have into the group. So keeping your group count as high as possible, that means your Minamoto is going to do as much damage as possible. So that's how Joan of Arc is going to help you. In the long run, you will see that this setup is very great. I fought against it, and I've seen people using it in our tests, 1 versus 1, and Minamoto and Joan of Arc, they were doing great together. You can use Joan of Arc with Richard I, you can use Joan of Arc with Scipio as free to play. This would be the best and strongest free to play tanking setup. Scipio and Joan of Arc. You can use Joan of Arc with anyone. That's how good she is, because of her last skill, and not to mention her main skill. If you want to know where else Joan of Arc, she is a queen, she is the queen of the expedition. In expedition, she is the queen. I'm telling you. I managed to finish my expedition up to 70. I've done 70 in the expedition, not 3-star, but I've done it. And I'm the king of the expedition in my server. And that is because of her and Cleopatra. The amount of group buffs that Joan of Arc and Cleopatra do is literally insane. I managed to finish with tier 4. I managed to finish the expedition, so that's how good Joan of Arc is. So anyone you want to group with Joan of Arc, she will do great. You want to group her with a nuker, there's not going to be a problem. But in my opinion, that the best setups that she is going to make with is either on a full archer setup, because she grants 30% attack to the archers, or a very tanking setup like Scipio, Charles Martel, Richard I. This is where she would excel, but anyone else you want to use her with, she will do a great combination. As I have said, I'm very hyped about her as a free-to-play commander. She is great. I love her a lot, personally. Now, where could you use Joan of Arc? Obviously, because this is the next step. In the early levels, you could use her everywhere you like. You want to use her in Siege, PvP, you want to use her in Barbarians, that's your choice. You can use her everywhere you would like. She will do great. Now that I brought up the Siege, I want to break it down to you, so it's not really confusing. First of all, Siege should be split in 2 parts, because it's the nuking siege and there is the defensive siege. It depends on the opponent that you're going to fight with. So for example, if you're going to attack a weaker player, or let's say not necessarily weaker player, but you know that in the castle the troops are weak, or the commanders are weak, because that's what it is important. If the commanders are weak that you are going to attack, then a nuking setup would benefit you much more. The reason why, if the commanders are weak and the troops are weak, that means that you are going to break it very fast. So that means if you have a nuking setup, you're going to smash it down really quick. Like let's say Minamoto and Cao Cao, you send them in with full cavalry, 1 million cavalry, they will banish everything, destroy everything. I'm out. That's exactly what they are going to do. But if you want to fight a strong player, let's say a lot of TF4 in there, he has even support from other players, that means you are not going to break that in one siege. So then you might want to pick up some very defensive setups. The reason why is because you're going to have the same amount of losses first, even if you go with cavalry or defensive one. But if you go with defensive one, you're going to survive longer, and that means you're going to do damage longer or for a long time. The amount of troops that you lose would be the same, either nuking or either the tanking one. But with the tanking one, you're going to survive longer and you're going to do a lot more damage on the long run to a very strong player. So that's why I wanted to break it down to you, because I don't think anyone mentioned about it. But this is how it is, and I'm telling you from experience. Alright, so I believe that would be all. Hope you understand about the sieging part, how it actually works, because you've probably seen on others using the cavalry setup and how fast they manage to take down other players because of the amount of nuke they have, but they haven't hit a very strong player to see the difference. Until next time, this is your boy Legend Ronnie signing out. And if you have any questions, guys, don't forget to comment in the comment section below. I will be very happy to answer your questions. Until next time, as I mentioned, see you later, alligator. That's it. I'm out of here.